Yeah, so that's where I've been experimenting a little bit. So obviously one-on-ones are very important. And I actually am building out right now some kind of like a conversation framework for one-on-ones because I think one-on-ones are that important that we need to bring up certain topics and we need to ask certain types of questions within one-on-ones to be able to like tease out more than just like, how is your project going? Have you done these tasks? Those
What's an
kind of
example
things.
question? What's it?
So
What? Well, go ahead.
yeah, it's more around the um how are you doing type of questions. What is the client experience been like for your teams so far? Are their objectives being hit? And how are you measuring that type of thing?
Okay, so kind of driving questions around soliciting from them
Like what
what
value are
value are you tracking against? And it sounds like even sometimes it's like they need, like you're asking them, how are you going to track value? Maybe they have some work to do to come up with
yeah,
those metrics sometimes. Okay.
100%, 100%.
Okay.
Because like we're all, I think this is very applicable to like a startup company because we're all engineers in this account. Like none of us are like trained managers or leaders or whatever. Like we're all engineers. We like to just go to the next technical thing, do the next task, make the next move, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. And getting us to think about like instead of my value is I figured out how to code this loop to do this more efficiently, to do
Yeah.
this thing. The value is the customer got what he needed from whatever I did, even if that's not using the loop and not using the
Right.
efficient loop, like just use an if statement.
Right.
That's probably a bad example, but like focusing on like what are the customer's objectives ultimately? What's the business value that
Mm-hmm.
needs to be created from what we're doing, and how do we measure that so that we can actually verifiably show that we are creating value to the
Yep.
client, so that selfishly we can grow.
Yeah. No, that's really good. Making that shift from I delivered this many story points this sprint to, the client. And even sometimes then it's like, well, the website is 50% faster. Okay, that might be better, but that's still not, I think, the level it should be at. It's, the client added 10% to their overall revenue, or the client broke into the new market or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So like, understanding like when you're building out a model for personalized recommendations for some product, the metric is not like what's the latency of each API call. Even though that's a good metric to have and understand, like you need to make sure the API
Mm-hmm.
calls back to that model from the mobile app are happening quickly. That's part of value. But the actual value is we got a 10-cent uplift on all of our transactions since we put out this recommender API, which translates to however many millions of dollars more money we made over the past year.
Yeah.